AirAsia X says it has triggered the prescribed criteria of PN17 as it reports a swing into the red in the first quarter of FY20 on the slump in air travel demand and forex losses. According to a bourse filing, the carrier posted a net loss of 549.7 million ringgit compared with a net profit of 43.33 million ringgit previously. Revenue, meanwhile, fell 21% year-on-year to 924.09 million ringgit. In a separate bourse filing, AAX said its external auditors, Messrs. Ernst & Young, cast doubt on its ability to continue as a going concern. The group, however, will not be classified as PN17 in line with relief measures implemented by Bursa from April 17th this year until June 30th, 2021. As for prospects, AAX says it expects to remain in hibernation mode pending the recovery in international air travel demand. In the meantime, it is engaging with its business partners and creditors to reschedule payments and reduce costs while also renegotiating terms of contracts. It has also applied for bank loans to improve liquidity. The carrier remains optimistic, saying it is well poised for recovery and will emerge stronger under the new norms post-COVID-19. Lotte Chemical Titan saw its net profit for the second quarter of FY20 fall by 15.4% year-on-year to 88.72 million ringgit as a result of lower revenue as well as weaker average selling prices and demand. Quarterly revenue was down 25.9% year-on-year to 1.58 billion ringgit. The group explains that during the quarter, its results were impacted by lower other income as there was a one-off insurance claim in the previous corresponding period. It also saw higher forex losses, lower finance income resulting from lower interest rates and IPO fund balance as well as higher share of losses from associate companies. As for the first half of FY20, Lotte posted a net loss of 81.34 million ringgit versus a net profit of 160.78 million ringgit in the first half of FY19. Half-year revenue was down to 3.04 billion ringgit. In a separate statement, President and CEO Dr. Lee Dong-woo said that manufacturing and business activities in major economies have resumed and are expected to normalize and improve in the second half of FY20. Hence, the group will continue focusing on operational and financial performance optimization initiatives. The FBM KLCI clawed back to erase some of its earlier losses today, settling at 1,603.75 points. It had opened at a high of 1,614.35 before tumbling to 1,584.95 at 4 p.m. as the market reacted to UMNO's exit from the Perikatan National Alliance. Some 11.92 billion shares were traded for 6.16 billion ringgit. There were 688 losers against 390 gainers. To recap, UMNO President Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi this morning announced that the party would be leaving PN. It will focus instead on strengthening its Muafakat National Pact with PAS and the other Barisan Nasional component parties. Zahid added that Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin had expressed Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia's desire to join MN, a matter UMNO will discuss with PAS. Malacca Securities Head of Research, Louis Loh, told theagemarkets.com that despite the current political turbulence, there are still some good bargain hunting opportunities going into next week. The next reporting season is coming up, he said, plus certain sectors like glove counters should do well. Top Glove says it has been in constructive engagement with the US Customs and Border Protection with regards to the detention order imposed on its subsidiaries Top Glove and TG Medical. The group said in a statement that it had been engaging with CBP via its Malaysian headquarters as well as its US office since July 17th and has appointed an independent consultant to advise them on the matter. It hopes to find a middle ground with the US authorities by August and commence remediation payment immediately. Recall that on July 15th, The CBP slapped a detention order on imported disposable gloves manufactured by Top Glove and TG Medical after both were suspected of using forced labour. 6 days later, Top Glove's headquarters was raided by Malaysian enforcers after the group was accused of breaching MCO rules and providing insufficient accommodation for its foreign staff. The authorities, however, concluded that Top Glove did not use forced labour. Malaysia and Singapore have agreed to proceed with the rapid transit system after postponing the rail line project 3 times. The RTS is a 4-kilometre rail line connecting Bukit Chaga in Johor Bahru and Woodlands in Singapore. It is expected to carry up to 300,000 passengers a day. The project is expected to cost almost 10 billion ringgit, with 39% or about 3.7 billion ringgit to be borne by Malaysia. Transport Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wee Ka Siong says the government will be funding the project with allocations from the ministry's development expenditure. Work is set to kick off next year, with completion by end 2026. Wee adds the government will ensure that the fares will be affordable, taking into account the B40 group and daily commuters. The idea for the RTS line was first mooted in 1991 as a means to reduce congestion on the causeway, but was placed on the back burner for 2 decades.